Sunday, May 11th, 2025. Back at the dacha, you guessed it. And happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. It's Mother's Day in Canada and the US, and I think other places around the world. But I know for sure in Canada and the US. But not in Russia, but in spirit. I already wished my mother-in-law and my wife Victoria happy Mother's Day. So what do I got planned for today? Well, as you could see over here, I need to work on this birch wood. I need to stack it, and I got to do the raking. Also, we have a special guest today, Androsha.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So what do you got? What's that in your hand?
A drill.
What are you going to be doing? You got some sort of project?
I'm going to be taking apart the old greenhouse.
Oh, you want to show me what you're going to be doing?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Hey, let's check out and see what Andrusha's going to be doing. Okay, so this is the old greenhouse here that you're going to be taking apart. So what are you going to be doing exactly?
So first, I have this 8mm head put onto this drill.
Okay.
So that I could take off all these screws.
Got it.
Over here, and they go up and down.
Yeah, up and over. Okay.
All these arches. And then I'm going to change the head into a Phillips head to take off all of these screws.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Got it. Okay, well, how are you going to get to the top over here? That's pretty high.
Well, I'm going to eventually figure that out somehow.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just going to put on 2 boards and a chair onto it so that I could get some height and unscrew the screws that are up there.
Okay. Well, you got it all figured out. All right, I'll let you get to work.
All right.
All right, cool. So there it is. Andrusha has his job to do. He's going to be taking apart the old greenhouse. And eventually we're going to turn that area into a lawn. So that's pretty good. So everybody is keeping busy. And in case you guys are wondering, where is Vanya? Well, Vanya has his physics class today. Yeah, he goes on Sundays. So, more important than the dacha. But we managed to get Andrusha to come here, and he's going to be doing his thing. And I got this to do right over here. As for Vika and her mom, I don't know what they're going to be doing. They're wandering around here somewhere, probably going to be planting or, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, time to go to work. Let's go to work. So, Androsha, looks like we ran into a snag here. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we started off good. We took off the metal ribbons that were hanging over here, and we took off the bars, metal bars that were over here. And then when we started taking off this part of the greenhouse, we started off from the bottom where we had to unscrew a lot of screws and nuts. But when unscrewing this part over here, we were able to take off this nut, but we weren't able to take off this nut because we only have the shallow sockets when we need the deep sockets.
Okay, so now what? What are we going to do?
Well, there's no point in going into town to get the deep sockets.
Right.
So we're going to have to abort this mission.
Okay.
And start next time we're here, which is probably going to be next weekend.
Okay.
But for now, we're just going to have to find something else to do.
Okay, yeah. We have to be very flexible.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is partially taken down. And it's one deep socket that stopped us. And no, we don't have any little wrenches here. So, can't take that one off.
But what's pretty sad is that for the next week, this whole greenhouse is going to be held up by nothing but the nuts and screws that are on the bottom and this top beam. So
I think it should be okay.
Hopefully.
Well, the air, it's not like there's a void, a vacuum on the inside. It's just air running through it.
Well, oh well.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's find something else to do.
Sure.
Okay, let's go. So as I'm stacking the firewood here, what I'm doing is I'm tying up string from each post to post. And because it's thinner string, I'm actually tripling it and spinning it through to give it more strength. So what's going to happen is, see that right there? See, that was not tied up when I did that last year. And over time, it just falls back. This string is going to counter each side. So this side will not be able to go back because this side is going to be holding it. Also, by putting some firewood right on top, it's going to add more tension to the rope. So there it is. This is how you could get your rows nicely stacked without the sticks or the metal starting to lean over. See, this is the mistake that I made last year right here, and you could see the wood, it just starts keeling over. So that's pretty bad. So you learn from your mistakes, and I remember my grandfather doing this, so I remembered that, hey, yeah, I'll do it like the way Dyadushka used to do it. So there it is. Hopefully this will work. Well, it's that time of the day, and I got to start packing up. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you what I did. This over here is all cleaned up. Well, all picked up. I still got to rake it. And I put it right over here. Okay, here it is. So there's about half a cord. Yeah, there's about half a cord here. There it is. Now, for those people that don't know or don't understand what a cord is, a cord of wood, actually it is 128 cubic feet. A lot of times people just memorize the numbers. Oh, a cord of wood is 4 by 4 by 8. Well, length times width times height. So 4 feet across, 4 feet high, 8 feet wide or long, and there's your 128 cubic feet. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 8 is 128. But a cord of wood could be 1 foot wide, 1 foot high, and 128 feet long. 1 times 1 times 128 is 128. So a cord of wood doesn't necessarily have to be 4 by 4 by 8. Whatever the dimensions you get, you just multiply your length, your width, and your height. So what do I have here? I got about half a cord. So half a cord of birch is awesome. How much wood do I burn in my shop? Well, depending on how cold it is. This year was not as cold as last year. So I burnt 2 rows over here of this softwood, and then I had some other stuff that I was burning. So I burnt maybe about a cord, maybe a cord and a half. So I replenished half a cord. So I'm still down a cord, but I have lots left over. I've got that left over from last year. I've got that over there. And I also have right over there and over there, right there. So plus I'm going to end up dropping a few more trees. We got some fruit trees over there. That is going to be for firewood. So I'm not worried about that. So Andros, how'd your day go today?
So, despite the whole inconvenience of us not having the deep socket,
right,
to fully dismantle the greenhouse, we are sort of moving in the right direction, and we partially dismantled the greenhouse,
right,
because we already took off the metal ribbons and the metal beams.
Right. So you were helping Mama. What were you guys doing?
We were mostly just planting bushes, and I was also weeding the dandelions.
You're weeding dandelions?
Yeah, because when they grow and they bloom, they can actually travel to quite the distances, and they just multiply all over the property.
So you were pulling them out?
Yeah, so I was just pulling them out.
Okay, cool. So there it is. Even though Andrusha couldn't dismantle the greenhouse, there was still a lot of work to do, so he was helping Victoria. And I'm looking at my gauge for how much wind there is. We got a bit of a breeze. It was actually pretty nice working today. It was not too hot, not too sunny. Actually, I'll show you what the temperature is right now. 20 and a half, almost 21 degrees Celsius. So there you go. It's 5 p.m. Sunday afternoon, and it's almost 21 degrees. I didn't check what it was earlier. Probably it was around the same, but it was just very, very nice. A little bit of a breeze, not too bad. The sun wasn't out too much, and just puddling around doing things. So what do I got lined up for next week? Well, I'm not going to be here till maybe, if not Thursday, maybe Friday, Saturday for sure. I got to still rake all this up. I got to get the chainsaw. I need to lower that stump, or those two stumps. I'm a little bit behind schedule, but moving forward, and I'm happy that this wood was done. So it's out of the way, and next time we'll have to get this done. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Smash the like button, leave a comment. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It's free, and it helps the algorithm. The more people that put the likes on it, the more people that make comments, it just works its way up. My YouTube channel isn't exactly eye popper. You know, if you're looking for, you know, people struggling in Russia or whatever, I don't know, maybe they are. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just living my life here in the Russian Far East. Things are okay. I'm here with my family. I got a job, semi-retired. Things are good. We got a new SUV, all paid for. We got this dacha, all paid for. We got an apartment, all paid for. Basically, living here debt-free, and just enjoying life. I mean, you don't have to make $1 million a year. Or people sometimes say, oh, you know, in Russia, you guys have such a low salary. Oh my God. Well, you're comparing it to maybe the countries that pay $35 an hour or whatever it is. So what? How much does a gallon of milk cost in that country that pays $35 an hour? So it's more about purchasing power. And if a person doesn't have any debt, you don't need to make that much money, right? Because you look at it, if somebody was making $10,000 a month, but they had mortgage payments, car payments, toy payments, let's say you had a Harley Davidson, or you had a boat, you had a hot tub, you had 5 giant screen TVs, and you had subscriptions to Netflix and all that, and your cell phone, you bought it, and it's $2,000 or something. How much is your monthly bill going to be just for all your payments? I don't know. What if it's $7,000 and you're left with only $3,000, right? And then your cost of living is actually higher than what it is in Russia. So the purchasing power doesn't make you very wealthy in terms of what you can buy. So if a person is debt-free, well, if you're making $3,000 and a gallon of milk or a liter of milk only costs 50 cents, well, hey, look at the purchasing power there. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, I got to get going. So, like I say, smash the like button, leave a comment, and I don't know, I'm still waiting for you guys to leave the comments from the last video. Nobody has replied on what I should call the chainsaw. That stir one, so I thought maybe Steve, but we did have a Kia Soul, so maybe it's resurrected as a chainsaw now. I don't know. Okay, I gotta go. Take care, and like I always say, paka paka.